Blessings and respect, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the 876411 review show right here on Google Hangouts. I'm Mark Brown, good to see y'all. And today, we're going to be looking at the ever-growing saga, relationship saga, or ex-relationship saga between sound selector Foota Hype and singer Ishawna that has become very juicy in the last few years. And we'll look at Mavado's run, assess his run. He's been with We the Best Music Group for 3 years now, and there was a feature recently done on him by the Observer, looking at his success in the Billboard charts in the US. So we're going to kind of assess his run there and see what I'll go on with that and go from there. So um, yeah, so let's start off with this whole. We not like people. This thing make me laugh with Foota Hype and Ishawna. As you know, the two of them there for about 9 years were engaged last year. If you remember when Foota go down on one knee at his anniversary celebration when he was celebrate all his years as a sound selector, and you see me call up Ishawna on stage and proposing all the people and all so romantic and all them thing there. See? So, 9 years going, everything seemed fine. Then all of a sudden in April, them call it quits, and, neither party really talking much about the situation. You see, all Ishawna saying is that, it was time to move in a different direction. And, it kind of go away quietly. We never hear nothing about it. It basically just sound like another typical breakup, or just one of them things there where, it's time to move on. And after that, it got quiet. Then Foota they come on ER and talk a little bit more about the thing, but him deny say he was talking about because apparently Ishawna there was a claim that Ishawna had been stalked by Foota Hype after the fact, and that he was threatening all sorts of allegations and rumors about Foota Hype run down Ishawna even after them left. And now the latest plot in the saga is that Foota Hype quit Down Sound. And of course, Foota Hype and Ishawna have been working with Down Sound together for years. Foota Hype joined Down Sound in 2011 and Ishawna around that time, if not a little after that. So the two of them joined Down Sound together, and even though them did break up, them did still with Down Sound. But here, the catch now. You see, when the two of them did still dead after the breakup now, Ishawna do a song called Restraining Order, which Foota later said, and we'll get to Foota's interview in a bit, about she recorded not for Down Sound, but it was produced under the Down Sound imprint apparently, or it was released under the Down Sound imprint, but not produced by Down Sound. And she recorded that song, which was apparently a diss at Foota Hype, which she later admitted was a diss at him, because that was in relation to an actual restraining order she had to put out on him because he was allegedly stalking her, as I said earlier. So that happened now, and then our next song come out called Cry Baby, which basically she was, saying, oh, poor baby, can't get over this woman and re. No, Ishawna go up on an interview and said that song was in no way disrespectful towards him. It was a rebuttal towards an old Papa song called Maddy Maddy Cry, and she was doing a rebuttal of that in a sense. So that was the real thing according to her. But Foota took that as a big disrespect because him go up on an interview now with this English guy and basically say, she did this song, and Scatter Burrell, who of course is Down Sound's lead producer, did write the song. And basically that come out, and Foota did catch all sorts of feelings. Him did feel vexed, in the feel like say, well, go on so, oh, you are write this song fear about me when the two are still in at the label and the two are still have to deal with each other on a daily basis while we are work. That is not professional. So him said to Joe, I quit. Basically, him go up on him Instagram and him say him done with it. Him done with the whole project. Him feel disrespected by Joe and Scatter. But the kicker in all of this is not only did he feel disrespected because of those songs, he then claimed that Ishawna was sleeping with the Down Sound bosses. He was sleeping with Joseph Bogdanovich, who is the CEO of Down Sound, and he was sleeping. She was sleeping with Joseph Bogdanovich, and she was also sleeping with Scatter. And I'm listening to this interview, and I'm like, what? Where that come from? Where the hell this come from? All of a sudden, if just like break this information to the people, you must say about how a long time I hold it and oh, me never did really want to say nothing, but now that me left, I feel like, me have to, a lot of people I know have to tell them and Rhea say about how, you know, she had exchanged sexual favors with them in return for musical favors and that all sort of sitting like I call her studio mattress. When we hear him call her studio mattress, me laugh, me say real tears are shedding. No, sir, the man called her studio mattress. Once she a cool down the studio and Ray and Tay, I do a sort of freaky thing with the boss them, threesome and lesbianism and all sort of crazy argument. And then I talk about how she worse than Angel and that was the coup de grace right there. So I compare her to Angel. I mean Angel must have feel a way. She ignored it. She said at the start so she not really business about that. But that no sir. That interview there was like him just release everything and just blast lyrical shot after lyrical shot after ex-girlfriend and everything. No, I must say though, even though Foota sound like a girl clown, and I'm not just get real, him sound like a girl clown in this situation. Why? First of all, are you going to come out like this in an interview after you left your label and basically, just, try damage Aisha's reputation? Say every little thing about her. Because personally, I believe half of what he was saying was way over exaggerated. Way over exaggerated. I don't believe half of it. I think he was just letting off steam at the fact that him feel Aisha disrespect him by doing those songs and him probably exaggerate the truth and a lot of these. I'm not accusing Foota of necessarily lying, but I think he stretched a lot of things to make Ishawna look like a whore, to make her look bad, to make her look terrible. You understand? I just thought it was really unnecessary, over the top. You understand? To go that far and to try and smear her name. It really looked childish. You understand? And then you hear the accusation are starting and them thing there. Like, dog, left her no. You understand? Uno break up, uno done with. Even though uno work together, uno work together. You understand? Uno have to make the most of it and just try do the thing professional. Uno are professionals at this for a long time. Just ignore the bad vibe. Just try and work things out and for the better of their professional careers. But to do this was just a low blow. It never made no sense and it just seemed childish. The whole just move on from the girl. Move on, forget about her, done. Don't bother with that. At the same time though, Ishawna wrong as well because if it is true that Crybaby was written by Scatter, if it is also true that the song was really about Foota, as I said, she denies it's about him, I have nothing to do with him, but him say otherwise. If it's true about that and the whole restraining other song as well, I just think why are you recording songs addressing, whether it be directly or indirectly, because she never mentioned names, but you're still making people sound like you talk about Foota. And when the two are uno in the same company still after the fact, even though on a breakup, you still can't give that impression. It look away. You understand? Look like you're styling. You're styling wickedly, and in disguise or something like that. Like it don't look professional. It don't look right on your part either if you do that. You understand? So to me, the two of them for go on like Ishawna has distanced herself by the way. She went on her Twitter after the whole Foota interview and said, oh, why wasn't this truth said on ER and all sorts of things and it don't look good, you're lying at me like this and all sorts of things. Just paraphrasing. So to me, both sides coming wrong, but Foota just no, like seriously, that interview there, that was a hot mess, brother. No, like move on from her. Better if you never say nothing at all and just move on, cut your losses, and do your thing. You understand? When they have 9 years together, when they have a child together, when have everything, you know, that when they could have asked for in a relationship. Yes, you have one ups and downs, and yes, you have this breakup, but let go of the bitterness from both sides. You understand? Just let go of the bitterness and don't drag this out like, you know, into a big long saga like Beanie and the Angel. Cause Foota sound like Beanie, you know. When Beanie just up the Angel and I talk about how she never really rate him and Ray and go up on all these interviews and sobbing, and the Angel was also sobbing in her interviews and making a big hoopla out of it as well. No, just move on, do your thing, and cut your losses. Simple and straightforward. Nobody with the bag of dramatics, the soap opera foolishness. You understand? So we move on from that now. So I was reading an article on Friday from the Jamaica Observer where they were talking to Mavado, and they were talking to him specifically about his presence on the Billboard chart in the United States. So he has, as you know, he's been with We the Best Music Group. That's DJ Khaled's group, just under the Young Money, Cash Money imprint. He's been there for 3 years now, because he signed in September 2011. And since that move, he has not been on Billboard. His last Billboard hit was 5 years ago. So Special. Remember that video they come from BET, all the girl left on the ground, all that. You understand? So that was the last time he was on Billboard. They were asking him about, you know, what his thoughts were on that and trying to break in the US market. He said if he can get that big break in the US market, then that would be the biggest, you know, achievement in his career, and it would really take him to new heights, right? So him talk about that, and you know, him still make songs for the streets. Him not left Jamaica all time thing. No, there's two thoughts, trains of thought here with this. Now, Mavado went over, and as soon as he went over, he got shows, he got interviews, isn't it, on BET. You know, BET about 4 or 5 times since that move with with rappers and all sorts of big names, right? So him collaborate with a lot of big artists over there. Akon, Survivor, Khaled, of course. He and Khaled had their collaboration. Him collab with Rick Ross. Him have the song with Nicki Minaj from the Overdrive rhythm, that's Justin Harrison rhythm from JA Productions, Give It All to Me remix. Him have all sorts of hits with other artists, whether it be cameos or his own work where rappers come from the song. Him really, you know, land a lot of big names on him thing and make him profile, get him profile up there. You understand? So in that case, it has been a success in terms of, you know, getting rappers and getting big profile American names on his resume. That will only put your career to a next level and make you more respected in the eyes of people. You know, it's a collaboration with LL Cool J called Hustler, and the video was recently released. It's on the 876-411 website, by the way. You can check that out. So that video is out, and for man like a legend like LL Cool J to reach out to you, a man been in the business for almost 3 decades now. You know, that shows that you have the ultimate level of respect from people overseas, from big names in the American music industry. So that is a huge compliment. So in that way, raising his profile, getting him shows, getting him that kind of publicity to boost his career, it has certainly worked. But in terms of charts, hasn't really. I mean, other than Billboard's premiering of his video with Carrie Ann's song, if you remember, Take It. That song was premiered on Billboard's website, and it got a lot of play, got a lot of ratings. But like all these other songs I mentioned, they never made the charts, which I kind of found surprising, because when they have names like Nicki Minaj and Cool J, all these names, you would expect at least a little piece of any of the charts them. You understand? Because these are big names making decent songs. You would expect that. You understand? But none of them have. As I said, in 5 years since he made, the only other song he ever had on the Billboard charts was when him come out with Mavado back in 2006. You see me? When him just boss and, you know, all the gangster song them man read. Him change him tune from the US, but from gangster to more crossover. mixing rap with dancehall, all sorts of things to try and bust. So in that sense, he hasn't really succeeded. It hasn't come off as well as he'd like. Not that he hasn't been doing well on other charts, but Billboard is the creme de la creme. So he hasn't really been hitting it off there. However, another train of thought is that I think us in the Jamaican media, Jamaican entertainment media, or just in general, have this problem where we love to assess people's success, artist success, by charts or sales, particularly Billboard charts and album sales. And I think that is a slippery slope now because if you look at the climate now, it's a lot more digital music and a lot of people just prefer to get them things by iTunes and Amazon and they're not gonna really go out in the stores and buy. So album sales now are kind of irrelevant. Not irrelevant, but they're overstated. You understand? Like Tessan's album, as much as I don't really think the album lived up to scratch. It can't, and the sales weren't necessarily great compared to the rest of the voice competitors. You still can't just look on sales as a measure of success, as the be all end all for success in the music industry. And I think a lot of people, I remember having this conversation with a cultural critic here, Clive Walker. I remember having a conversation and he was like, we make a lot of errors in judgment with that, thinking that, sales and being in Billboard is the be all end all, is what really matters in the end as far as these artists and trying to bust overseas and rate. Just because them don't bust in the US don't mean them don't bust all over the world. Cartel couldn't really hang on to a US visa, but not just the US but Europe, everywhere rated. You understand? So is one thing where you look on it and you say, we have to be really careful because even though him don't get Billboard, him still get all the hype, all the collaborations, in raising profile. I will say this though, I think if Khaled had come about 2 or 3 years earlier when Mavado was at his hottest point, after the cartel Mavado feud and make all of these hits in the streets and reality. Because when he came from Mavado, when Mavado go over them getting visa back, basically it was, going through a little lull after they come to my room with stations. Was kinda here and there, you understand? It was diminishing just a little bit. But if they had done that 3 years earlier, I think he could very well have been up there. Not in terms of sales or whatever, the likes of Sean Paul and them man who they get big boss over in the US. But he really could have gotten even bigger than he has now. Much bigger. A bigger crossover profile, more hits, possibly more Billboard hits. So I think it's just a situation of, timing being one thing. But again, big up Mavado for making that move. I know a lot of Jamaicans criticize him for turning into a rapper, for kind of leaving dancehall behind. But I never really leave dancehall behind, You understand? I have family over there, so I have to stay over there, because I have to take care of them. But at the same time, instead of him dancehall song them, him still venture back into what got him, his bread and butter would get him to the top. You understand? So at the end of the day, I think it's been a success in a lot of areas, but it could be better. The hope that he does land that one big Billboard smash that, make him really stand out in the US market and give dancehall another victory over there. You understand? Because we're lacking some right now. So that is it for 876-411, the latest episode of this review show. Again, check out the website, www.876-411.com to see this episode and also other videos. As I said, the Mavado Cool J video is on there. You can see highlights of Waterhouse in the CONCACAF Champions League. They're basically all about eliminated from that competition. And any other videos and news items. There was one news bit, by the way, that came out today that ZJ Wawa, the Zip FM disc jock, has decided to plead guilty in his lottery scam case in the States. He's right now being held in a North Dakota facility. He was arrested in May, allegedly scammed part of a group where scam a bunch of American citizens out of millions in exchange for promised lottery winnings. I won't lie, I'm surprised he's pled guilty. But me not lie, the fact that you get yourself in trouble in the US, you are already asking for trouble. What is up with all of our artists and musicians getting in trouble with the US over recent years? You know, Buju and Wawa, Anthony B had a case over there. Busy, but that was on an old case from years and years back. You understand? Or old charge, I should say. But it's sad, you understand? Because he was a good young DJ, you know, one of the better ones I thought, and Zip. And for him to get himself into this kind of trouble, you know, it's sad, really. I don't know what led him to this road, but you know, we'll see what happens with him. We face up to 30 years on counts of money laundering each, and money laundering, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud. So we'll see what happens with that. So yeah, continue supporting the website. You can check out our ads all over the place, Twitter, Google, all about the place, and you know, get the F876411 today for the latest in Jamaican news, entertainment, sports, the whole nine. This is me. I'm Mark Park. Peace out.